Well, hello everybody. Okay, I had to fix the lighting because my flashlight was being really annoying and it looked weird. So anyways, hello! Welcome to episode 3, everyone. I can't believe I'm already on episode 3 of this series thing that I'm doing. I'm kind of amazed by myself because this is amazing. I am here to update you guys because even though this is the beginning for you, I'm already halfway, pretty much almost through this book. I'm on page 158. I rounded it up to 160 because I'm basically on page 160. So I'm already a pretty decent chunk, like almost 40% of the way through Addicted to You, which is Miss Larry Reed's pick for reading my favorite booktubers' favorite books. I did film myself last night at like literally midnight when I was driving home from my boyfriend's house talking about how I felt about reading it because I started it yesterday at his house. So I feel like I should just sum up my feelings for you guys here, and then we can actually get into the reading vlog portion of this video. So I'm on page 160. And usually when I'm on page 160, a very decent chunk of the way through the book, I feel like I'd normally be more emotionally invested in the story and the characters and what's going on. But unfortunately for me, I'm not. Not at all. I am so disappointed in myself for not being more into this book. I really was hoping that I was going to go into this book and absolutely love it, but I do keep reminding myself that this book is a whole like 10 book huge series. The first is not going to be the best book. It's just simply not going to be. As of right now, I'm not a huge fan of Lily or Lo. I like them, but I'm not like the biggest fan. Like I wouldn't say that I'm already getting a 5-star feeling. I'm kind of conflicted between like I really like it, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I feel like I don't really know like anything about them. Like I've learned a lot about them, but at the same time, like have not learned a lot about them. And like, it's a very confusing storyline. I don't know. I can feel the third act conflict coming, and I dread the third act conflicts in romance books. They make my heart hurt. And I'm never ready for it, okay? Sometimes I have a really hard time getting into a book because I'm like, I'm gonna be upset at the like 75 page mark or 75% mark. I'm gonna be in a bad mood and I'm gonna not want to read it anymore because it's making me upset. But I know that if you just keep going, it gets better. But I did have this kind of thought while reading last night. I was like, how is this a series? Where does the story go? Like what happens in the next books that I don't know about that's gonna end off this book? Like what is this book gonna lead into? You know what I mean? Right now I'm learning about like that they live together and their like fake relationship they have with each other. The premise of the book is really interesting. I love fake dating. Fake dating is probably my favorite trope of all time, probably. Pretty much almost every single one of my like all-time favorites are fake dating. So I don't know, I have this weird like, I don't know, I'm like conflicted. As I've said before, I'm just very conflicted on my feelings because I'm not sure where it's going from here. Like I genuinely had a thought last night of like, how is this a 10 book series? Like what possibly could happen within the Addicted series is 5, right? Yeah, the Addicted series is 5 books. And I don't understand what could happen within 5 books. Like, is it just gonna be like them dating and then not dating and then dating and then not dating? Like what transpires? And I'm so curious, which I think is a good thing. Like I'm genuinely very invested in finding out more about the characters and about what's going on, especially because everybody freaking loves this series. I'm tempted to just buy the second one to go into after this just so I can kind of like see what's going on, but I don't know. Potentially I could finish it tonight if I really wanted to, but I'm just not in the mood. Yeah, that's how I'm kind of feeling right now. I'm for the most part confused how there's so many books. Like, I'm eager to know what happens, but at the same time, I'm like, how is it possible that there is so many books about these same group of people? I know I'm gonna look back at what I'm saying in this video and be like, you're such an idiot. Like, you are such an idiot. If you would just continue reading, you would realize why everybody loves this so much. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm DNFing it or anything. I'm just saying I think I'm gonna put it down for now. Okay. Well, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to pick up and read, and then I will come back and talk to you later. There she is. I found it. It is many days later. It is now Thursday, September 28th. Hello, thank you. We are still on page 159, 160, chapter 18 of Addicted to You. I am going to attempt to finish this today. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to finish it today, but I really want to finish it today. I want to be done with this book, but I don't want to read it, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I kind of wish that I cared more about the characters. Like, I don't. Which is really sad. Like, I really wish that I cared more about the characters. I just don't care about them. I think I'm going to try to read for a little bit, but we'll see. I'm not looking forward to the third act breakup. I think I already talked about that in the beginning of, like, that I can already feel the third act breakup, like, happening. I'm going to start, is 147 right now. We're going to see how quickly we can finish Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. Let's get to it, guys. We're going to get reading. If you can hear me or not. I don't know if you can hear the music or not. My little brother's being an asshole and playing music extremely loudly. But I'm on page 234. I'm in like the middle of a chapter. Genuinely in the middle of a chapter. The doorbell rang and I had to go get the mail from the door because the dog was freaking out. So that's why we stopped. Goodreads says I'm now 61% of the way through. I updated my book, or my audiobook, roughly to where I'm supposed to be. Like, I just put it to chapter 24. That's where I'm on. I'm on chapter 24 right now. And it says I have 2 hours and 20 minutes left. So I think I'm going to finish this chapter and then take a break for a little bit. I have like a headache. I can feel a headache kind of happening. And sometimes if I read with a headache, it'll give me an even worse headache. So I'm probably going to just finish chapter 24 and then take a break. Try to maybe make something to eat. I'm kind of hungry. I haven't really eaten a full breakfast or anything yet. So I'm going to figure it out. It's so much later. It is 9:10 p.m. It's been a long afternoon. I'm pretty sure I've been wearing this sweatshirt in every clip, even though it's been days. But I don't really care. I am still on page 238. Well, 240. I have a little over 100 and some pages left. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to also finish it. I want to finish it. Here's the thing. I really want to finish it, but I just am not in the mood. So I finally finished Addicted to You by Miss Krista and Becca Ritchie. I think I started reading this the end of September. It's Friday, October 13th. So it's been a long time I've been reading this book. And October, I was so excited. I was like, we're going to do this. And then stuff happened that you will find out more information about later. It definitely looks different behind me. I am sitting in my bed right now in a different place. You'll learn more about that in another video. But anyways, yeah, the beginning of October, I immediately was in the worst book slump I have ever been in for like a couple of days. I genuinely was like, I don't even want to touch it. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to read it. I don't want nothing. I wanted nothing to do with reading. I wanted nothing to do with these books. I had so many things planned. I had so many things I wanted to do. So many, a lot of stuff. Okay, there's a lot of stuff. Problem being that I have a full-time job. I work full-time. So I can't feasibly do all the reading and YouTube stuff as other people can, because other people who do these videos don't do anything else. This is their job, which is pretty cool. So like they get to do that for work, whereas like I have a job I have to do at my job, and then I come home and then I do this stuff. So I need to get to the end of it. So here is my final thoughts, my wrap up, my rating, my thoughts, my everything about Addicted to You. So Addicted to You. I do remember saying in a clip at some point in the video about how I had no idea how this was going to be a series. The questions, the concerns have been answered. I feel a little bit more like, okay, I could see what's going to happen. I can see how this might play out or whatever. So I'm excited actually and very interested, and my interest is piqued to go into Ricochet, which is the second one. I'm very curious of how it's going to continue and like what's going to happen and everything like that. So that's, good. That shows you that it's good, because, if I wasn't interested in going into the other books, then it would probably tell you that like maybe it's not a great book. But anyway, so continuing on, since I'm just blah, blah, blah. Okay, here we go. Final rating. I do think at some point I said I was going to give it like a 4 or maybe like a 4.5. I don't really remember what I said because it was like 2 weeks ago at this point. I think my final answer for a star rating for this book would be 4 stars, even just a 4-star, which for me is still a very good book. I don't have a lot of books that I've rated lower than that, but like I'm somebody who, I've said this multiple times and I think multiple different videos, I'm very easily pleased when it comes to reading stuff. Like I enjoy most things. I mean, there are things I don't like, but like usually if it's like a book that a lot of people like, is very popular, is like a book talk book, stuff like that, I tend to also enjoy it. I'm very easily persuaded to enjoying things. So I still very much enjoyed it. I liked some of the characters, didn't love some of the other characters, but I definitely think that for it being the first book in the series, it's a pretty good first book. I always like to remind myself that in series like this specifically, that this series has like 10 books or something like that. So the first book is not going to be a banger. You know what I mean? Like the first book is never going to be the best because you have to do all the world building. You have to introduce all the characters. You have to learn about all of the characters. You have to, go through all of those steps to actually know who you're talking about in the book. And then once you're able to establish all of that knowledge, then you go back into the other books and you're like, wow, it just jumps right into the story. You don't have to learn too many new things at the very beginning of the book. That sometimes can be kind of intimidating, especially in fantasy. I found very hesitant to read any other fantasy books because I'm afraid of having to like relearn a million new terms for things. So yeah, I like to always say that the first book in any series ever is never going to be the best, because most of the book is spent explaining what's going on, giving the backstory, all that stuff. So there's my spiel about that. I don't really have any like spoilery things I want to talk about because there's really not much I have to talk about it. It's really good. There were a couple of things that I feel like I just didn't love that the characters chose to do, but also like that's kind of, I feel like the point is to show you, being in a romantic relationship when you're both battling separate addictions and things like that, whatever. But overall, I feel like it was pretty good. So that's all I really have to say. I don't have anything else to add. So there's that. It is another many days later, and I am here to give just a couple more little things that while I was editing the rest of this, I thought of, and I was like, I need to add that in there. So here's one more thing I needed to add. I was just watching through and noticed I kept talking about the third act breakup and that I could feel it coming. Turn of events, there was no third act breakup, but there was a bit of a twist that I wasn't expecting, and then a very intriguing cliffhanger that persuaded me into being like, actually, this is pretty good. So there's that. Just thought I would let you guys know that I did realize that there was no third act breakup, and that I will be definitely purchasing the next couple of books. So I will see you guys in the next video. Toodles! Mwah.